And hello, everyone. Welcome to Power Scanning Session. It is November 29, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And once again, today, we will be on the lookout for the most interesting swing trades for the week and the weeks ahead. My name is Daniel. I will be your moderator in this webinar. And I'm greeting you today from beautiful Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. I went here yesterday for a quick trip to just get some sun. Not sure if you are aware that the winter has started in Montreal, so it's quite gray and yeah, grim in Montreal right now. So um, yeah, a good time to perhaps get away for a couple of days. But the beautiful thing about being a trader is that you can, do your analysis, your trades from anywhere in the world. Yeah, this is, I guess, a lifestyle that we all strive to have. So this is possible now with today's technology, the internet, great scanning tools, great indicators, trade from wherever you are. In any case, guys, where are you calling in from? Who do we have in the room today? Please put your location into the Q&A box. Who do we have? Gerd from Germany, Münsterland, near the Dutch border. Hey, Gerd, how are you? Art from Frederick, Maryland. And invite me to Punta Cana. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely nice to hear. Ralph from Jockgrim. Ralph, remind me, where is this again? This sounds German to me. Andrea from Hamburg. Hi, Andrea. How are you? Niels from Basel. Hey, Niels, how's it going? Aubrey from nice and warm Cyprus. Don't have to go anywhere else to get it. Yes, yes, yes. You're lucky, lucky. Kevin from Saskatoon. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Nice to see you. Paula from New Jersey. Hey, Paula. How are you? Iwan from Romania. Hey, Iwan, how are you? I think this might be your first time you're here. Welcome. David from Frankfurt. Hey, David, how's it going in Frankfurt? Wayne from Boston, Massachusetts. Hey, Wayne, how are you? Niels from Switzerland, Lucerne. Oh, that's nice. Hey, oh, not Niels, Nico. I'm sorry. Nico from Switzerland, Lucerne. Frank from North Carolina, USA. Then we have somebody from New York. We have Linda from Ontario, Canada. Lenny from New York City. Yes. Hi, Lenny. How are you? Perfect. Well, once again, a truly international crowd. And we also have Cheryl from Denver, Colorado. Colorado. Yeah. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, with this, let's get into it. So, first off, let me just quickly switch to my preview here. First off, today we will be looking for looking to find swing trades. Rule of thumb: a swing trade lasts approximately 1 to 20 weeks. So it's not a day trade, which you may open within the same day and close it within the same day, and it's also not a super long-term investment. A swing trade is right in between. And the beautiful thing is, with the dashboard and the scanner that we'll be using today, you can find interesting swing trading ideas in just a couple of minutes. It's designed to be fast and efficient, something you can do when you come home after work, after the market closes, or perhaps right before the market opens. It will not consume much time, 10 minutes. If you know what you're doing, if you don't talk so much like me, you'll see you can find interesting stocks very efficiently. Now, who are we, talking about stocks and setups and swing trades? Well, we are tradingindicators.com. My name is Daniel. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side, and I'm one of the founders of Trading Indicators. We have created Trading Indicators about 10 years ago, together with Homer here in the middle. And about halfway throughout our journey, Nicholas here on the right-hand side has joined us, and he's become, yeah, our lead developer ever since. And as our name suggests, we specialize in creating innovative trading indicators. We've done this for a long time. We've built over 1,000 trading indicators for clients all over the world. This is really our bread and butter. But lately, we've also delved into other topics such as fully automated trading strategies and also trading scanners. And one such trading scanner we are going to be using today to find our most promising swing trading setups. It's called the Liquidity View dashboard, which is basically a trade scanner. It scans through 5,800 plus stocks for setups that you are interested in. And this is very efficient. It scans within like the blink of an eye in just a couple of milliseconds. And the idea is to simplify trading for you. So we believe that trading should be simple, and indeed, trading is simple, but you need to know what to look for, and you need to use the right tools, such as our trade scanner. In any case, we're going to ease into all of this, but just one reminder, please make this webinar your own. If you have any questions, don't be shy. Please put your questions into the Q&A box. And Niklas, who's in the room today as well, will be looking out for these questions and bring them to my attention as we see fit. All right. I also need to remind you that, oops, I want to go to the disclaimer real quick first. I also need to remind you that trading does contain risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance or really anything based on historical data, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies and setups discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. Now, before we get into the actual scanning, let me quickly explain to you, if you don't know yet, what has happened the last couple of weeks. I've been traveling quite extensively. Among other things, I've been to the World of Trading, or also called the WOT in Frankfurt, with various presentations, among others, a live trading event. And I've also been to an algo conference in Australia lately, are presenting a trading strategy. And, these trips were awesome. And what was even more encouraging is that be it for day trading or be it for fully automated trading, these setups that seem to be the most promising ones are exactly the same setups that we will be scanning for today. Examples such as our long bounce setup or our zone break setup. These are exactly the same setups that we trade day in and day out of our day trading, even live on stage, and which can also be fully automated, mainly from a day trading point of view. So this is just something, a little side note, which I wanted to make. Anyways, so I'm back from all these events. I was even a keynote speaker. You can see me here sitting on stage together with Boris Schlossberg. You may have heard about him, and one Australian trader at this algo trading conference. So I'm back from all these events, and it's nice to be back in Montreal, even though I'm greeting you today from Punta Cana. I'll be back on Monday already in Montreal, and then continue our business from our base, our headquarters in Montreal. In any case, let me get to today's topic. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to interactively scan for interesting setups, for swing trading setups. And we will be using our Liquidity View dashboard or our Liquidity View scanner for this process. And it will be best if you follow along. So if you don't have access to our dashboard and scanner yet, you can sign up right now completely for free for a full week trial. And Niklas, please put this link into the chat. It's tradingindicators.com/view. This will allow you to sign up right away. This will take about 1 minute, and then you have access to the dashboard and you can follow along. You can use the various, or you can, take the very same steps that I usually take to find the most interesting setups. Of course, there's no contract. You can you can cancel if you like at any time. So it's really no strings attached for our trade scanner. Okay, having this said, we also do have a Black Friday sale going on right now. You may have seen an email or two in your inbox from us. Yes, we do have a Black Friday sale going on where you will get a 40% discount of our flagship indicators. And all you need to do to check it out is to go to tradingindicators.com/Friday. And Niklas, also please put this link into the chat, tradingindicators.com/Friday, where you can take advantage of our big Black Friday sale. It's continuing for, I believe, another day until the end of Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, before it runs out. So now would be the time to take advantage of this opportunity. Next, if you are already a member of our dashboard, of our Liquidity View scanner, or you're thinking about it and you want to learn all about it, check out our bootcamp at tradingindicators.com/bootcamp. We've recorded this a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months ago, to walk you through all the different features of the dashboard. So if you want to find out what these are, go to the bootcamp. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because in these scanning sessions, we only really take advantage of a small subset of all the features available. If you want to see all the other ones that perhaps would be more interesting to you, the bootcamp will cover those. And lastly, we do have a Discord channel as well. Go to tradingindicators.com/Discord to sign up for it. It's completely free. And in this Discord channel, we post trade ideas, we discuss setups, we answer questions. So if you haven't joined us yet there, please join us at tradingindicators.com/Discord. And lastly, we also have an ebook available at tradingindicators.com/power of three, which will get you a free copy of this ebook called The Power of Three, where we further detail the setups that we'll be scanning for today, like our bounce setup, our zone break setup, or our zone break retrace setup. And before we get into the market, one last thing, if you have any suggestions on how to further improve our dashboard, please don't hold back. Put these suggestions into the Q&A box or send us an email afterwards, because this is what drives the further development of the dashboard. So most of the features which are in there right now have been driven directly by your feedback. So please continue helping us out with this, suggesting new features. And if possible, and if feasible, we will be adding these features to our dashboard in a future version. Now, without further ado, let's start with our market review. So for this, I'm going to switch over to the dashboard, and where do we have it? There we go. And we're going to start with the SPY, so the S&P 500. I'm going to use the SPY ETF, which is an ETF which of course tracks the S&P 500s. Now, what do we see here? Well, okay, so let me point out a few things. First off, we had a bit of a correction 2 weeks ago where prices came down off the all-time highs all the way down to the price of around 652. Now it stopped right there, and to us as technicians, as chart technicians, this was not a big surprise, because what can we see in the vicinity of this price level? Well, we can see a key support level, this reddish area here. Might be a bit hard to see, but it's right there at 652. So prices stopped there, almost to the cent, and then bounced to the long side towards higher price levels. Now, this was to some degree a predictable move for various reasons. In fact, 3 reasons, which will become more important later on today. First off, clearly the SPY, the S&P 500, are in a bullish trend. There's no second opinion about this. Let me just zoom out a little bit to see where this bullish trend started. We can see it here. Here on, when was it? On May 16, 2023, this bullish trend started as per our MA rush indicator. And ever since, we haven't looked back. So prices have been going upwards, even during the tariff conflict, I would say. The trend indication didn't change. The indicator remained bullish. Okay, so we're bullish, first off. Secondly, this pullback that we've seen here was a pullback directly to a support level. Now, the name support, support is named support for a reason, because it may prevent price from going further down. It will support price, and price will bounce to the long direction instead. And so that was the second reason why this move to the upside was predictable. And thirdly, what do we see here? This label here, you might be able to read it. It says liquidity capture. And if you are following us for a while now, you may know what this means. It means it's a bar which is near support, which did not penetrate support, so it stopped right there, and it's a bar which has abnormally high volume. And oftentimes, this is a sign that something is up, something is happening at this price level. So in this case, it can be interpreted as buyers stepping in, preventing price from going further down, and instead price will bounce to the long side instead. So this happened 2 weeks ago, or 1.5 weeks ago, and now let's see where we are. Well, prices are much higher, and if we look a little bit above price, what do we see? Well, we see this little green area here, and if you read the label, it says resistance zone. Now, what does this mean? Well, it means that prices may bounce off this level towards the lower side again. It's not as a nice setup as we've seen for the long bounce here, because first of all, we're going against the macro trend. The trend is bullish. This is a resistance level which may prevent price from going further down, but I think this might be a short-lived move. So if you want to fade this to the short side, just be aware that you are going against the macro trend. Now, would I go long right now in the SPY? Probably not, because we're too close to this resistance level. The long opportunity was down here. You could have added to your long position if you already had an open one, or perhaps place a trade to begin with at this level. Now, at this price level here, I'll be a bit careful because we are quite close to this resistance level. All right, let's switch over to the QQQs, the Nasdaq 100 ETF. What do we see here? All right, so pretty much the same picture. But the technicals are slightly different. There's a small variation here. So what do we see here? I'm going to explain the same thing again. We came off the all-time highs on November 3rd. The same thing as in the SPY. We came off this price level and we dropped. And where did we stop? And I have to zoom in a little bit to make this very clear. Where did we stop? We stopped at this little green line here. It might be a bit hard to see, but definitely there. This green line is a former resistance level. It was broken on September 12th. You can see it here, zone break. What happens when resistance is broken? Right. It changes its role. Resistance becomes support. And this is exactly what happened here. Prices came down all the way to this support level, which used to be resistance, but it's support now. And then prices bounced off also from this level towards higher price levels. Now, that's the magic of technical analysis. That, you can, to some degree, forecast what price may be doing in the future based on what has happened in the past, if you're able to identify these key levels. All right, so now prices bounced higher. And if we look above price, yes, we also do see a resistance level up here, this green area here, but it's a bit further away. So if somebody would put a gun to my head and say, hey, Daniel, pick the SPY or the QQQ for a long trade, I would choose the QQQs because it has more way to go towards this resistance level until we hit resistance. So there's a bit more room left. The SPY is very close by. The QQs have a bit more of catching up to do. So, nonetheless, we are, it's not ideal yet because prices already came off the lows here. But if you were to, place a nice little scalping trade, perhaps it would be in the QQQs, not so much in the SPY, because here we do have a bit more room to go. Let's switch over to the IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF. What's happening here? Also, the Russell has been extremely bullish last week. Yeah, it's very strong. We came off the swing low here from November 20th with only green bars pretty much last week. It was super bullish. And we came above this very much tested resistance zone. This one here around 245, this green area here, about the 245 price level. Why do I see it's very contested? Well, and I mentioned this many times before, if we scroll back, I have to scroll back quite a bit to actually see the magnitude of this. This level was first established, and you may know this already if you joined us in the past. This was first established in November 2021, where prices came all the way up to this level. This created a key resistance level, which was retested in November 2024, and now it's being tested right now. And you can see how much price is struggling to leave this level for good. Yeah, we've been above it, came below, now above again. This may not be the end of the story. So this level may be tested a bit further. Prices may come down again towards this level. It is a possibility, and only, I believe, if we take out the highs from October 15, I think this could be an encouraging sign that we're finally moving substantially higher in the Russell. But we're not there yet. We came above this level, but it does not mean that this level is completely out of the picture yet. All right, let's look at gold. What's going on with gold? GLD, the Gold Spider ETF, tracking the gold price. Buy an ETF. What do we see here? Well, we came off very nicely from this long-lived correction here. So we came down off the all-time highs in October, end of October. Bigger correction, a level, well, bigger. In terms of gold, a bigger correction. A level 3 correction only as per Trend Radar, you can see it here. Only 3 levels down. Yeah, this entire correction. It may look big. Let me just measure out this move real quick to see how big it really was. Oops. One second, I'm going to go to our measuring tool here. Measuring the high from this candle to the low of this candle. How big was this correction? It was 10%. Yeah, all right. So it's a 10% correction. I mean, it is quite shallow, so to say. It's nothing big. But for gold, it was, it was something, because gold has been going up only in one direction for the last months or so. So finally, a bigger correction, 10% correction here, level 3 as per trend radar. And this would have been a great opportunity to, get long this gold or perhaps sell some puts. I did sell some puts at this price level here. With this bigger drop because the volatility was very high, the implied volatility. Puts were expensive. Selling puts was a good idea. I bought them back recently when price came back up again for a nice profit. But where are we now in gold? Well, we are all green again as per trend radar, and prices are pushing higher. But we still have a bit to go until we hit the all-time high. So if I measure this out one more time from here, from the all-time high price point to the current price level, we have still 3.83% to go. That's something. And I believe we will, in all likelihood, test this all-time high levels in the next week or next 2 weeks. So potentially a long trade. Just be aware there's a resistance level right here above price, around 3% away. May not be the worst idea, even though, of course, the entry point was much better a couple of weeks ago. What about silver? Oh boy, silver, I don't know if you noticed it, was probably the winner of last week. What a powerful, explosive move in silver. What has happened here? Silver also, just like gold, lost or retraced from its formerly all-time highs from October 16 all the way down to this first MA rush level. You can see it here. And then it stayed in this vicinity and was also level 3 pullback for quite some time. And then, of course, last week it completely took off to the long direction. We broke above this key resistance level here. And now prices are trading above this level. We are very extended. I'm not sure I would jump in right now into a long trade. I have a feeling that we might come down a little bit, perhaps retest this broken resistance level, which would be our zone break retrace setup. And then potentially this could be a nice entry moment for silver. But all the way up here, it might be a bit too expensive. So I think prices, if they come down towards this price level here, again, maybe trying to fill this gap. You can see here we do have a bit of a gap here from there to there. That I think would give us a better entry opportunity. What's also interesting here is the following fact. Look what happened in the past. So we came up towards this resistance level in the past. We can see it here on November 12th. We came up towards this resistance level and we didn't break it. And why didn't we break it? Well, let's look what's written up here. Liquidity capture. So we had this very special event, which as an event where a bar approaches a key level. In this case, this candle was approaching this key resistance level. It couldn't break it, and this bar had abnormally high volume. In this case, sellers were stepping in, preventing price from breaching this level, and we bounced off instead. Look what happened yesterday and the day before. We once again came up to this level, but no liquidity capture. Yeah, so this probably could have been like a sign, hey, perhaps this time this level will not hold and we're going to go above this level. This is exactly what happened. All right, so that was silver. Let me go to what else did we discuss? What about Bitcoin? BTC. Oh boy, Bitcoin is difficult to read right now, at least for me. What has happened here? Well, we did lose our key support level at around 103,000. And prices broke below this level. And we said it a couple of weeks ago, if we lose this level, the next stop might be all the way down here at this support level at 74, 73,000. Well, prices didn't come all the way there. They came close-ish, in like, $7,000 to that level, and then we bounced up again. But what's going to be happening now? There is still a possibility that this is just a retracement within this bearish move. You can see it here on Trend Radar. We were all red. This is a bearish move. Everything was red with a little bit of green right now. Meaning, this was a correction within this bearish move. And if this is correct, this was just a correction within this bearish move, we may see another leg down towards this $74,000, $73,000 level. If this happens, I'll be one of the first to buy or add to my existing position, the strategic position, the long-term position of Bitcoin at this price level. I was tempted to do it a bit earlier, but I'm going to be waiting to see if perhaps we're going to test this level to add to this position. I do think Bitcoin in the long run, maybe not for swing trading, but in the long run, the course over a year, will be attempting to retest the highs. But we may retrace a bit further down. This has happened in the past. You can see it here. Prices came down to this key level in the past, almost to the cent, went all the way up. Now we are retesting this level. All right. Okay, so I think this sums up our market review. Nicholas, are there any questions so far as the global markets are concerned? Or can I move on to review what we picked last week?
We have a question from Lenny.
Yeah,
And Lenny, I suggest watching. Daniel, maybe it's covering the boot camp, but he says the SPY showing the tower event. Why didn't the indicator flag that as a bearish move? I guess May Rush. And he wonders, is MA Rush's bearish and bullish uh, determinations based on a percentage of a correction or a duration
yeah.
or
That's a
something
good
like
that's a good question. And yeah, just to repeat, why did Emiraj not change its in quotes mind when we have the tariff situation here? Well, that's exactly how the indicator is designed. It will keep you in a bullish trend for as long as humanly possible. Uh, up until there are very compelling signs that we actually do see a trend reversal. And for good reason, it did not give us a bearish move here because prices quickly, as quick as they came down, they came back up again and the bullish trend resumed. This is exactly by design. This is how this indicator is designed. Why it does it the way it does, this is part of our secret sauce. We can't go too much into detail, but as mentioned, many factors need to come together for the indicator actually to change its trend direction.
And Daniel, if
Uh,
Bitcoin breaks that level, would you confidently turn bearish?
no, not even. I mean, we've seen these big retracements in Bitcoin before. I believe in patterns and history potentially repeating itself. Uh, so what? So we can see in the past, where was that when we had this big move down? I forget when it was even further down. A huge move in Bitcoin to the downside. Yeah, look at this one here. From 2021 all the way down to 2022 over the course of a year, a huge move down. We lost several levels in Bitcoin. Eventually we found support, but that was a move of how much? 75% loss. And then look what happened afterwards. So no, this retracement here, of course, even though substantial, it's nowhere near this retracement. How much do we have here? We have 35%. That's half of it. So no, I would probably stick with Bitcoin. Yeah. Any other
Okay,
questions?
good to continue.
Perfect. Alrighty. So now I want to review what we picked last week. It's always good to, do some introspection. And another reason why I like to do it today is because last week probably was our best week so far. I believe every single pick that we took last week took off right exactly as we predicted. Let me give you a taste of this. So, what did we pick last week? So, these were the symbols, 10 symbols last week. Let's quickly go through some of them. BXB.AX, an Australian stock. What has happened? Let me just zoom out a little bit here. Now we picked it here when it came down to key support, it bounced to the upside. Exactly as predicted. We even drew this descending triangle. We said, hey, if you take this bounce trade, it might be short-lived to the upside. Exactly that's what happened. We stopped exactly at the up end of this descending triangle. This was from last week. I didn't draw it right today. Next one. What is this? This is the Credo Technology Group. Look at this bounce. What a beauty. Off support, huge move up. Ah, probably that was the best move I've ever seen. Huge move up. The Curtis Wright Corporation. Same thing. Off. This was a zone break retrace setup. Off former resistance, now acting as support. Nice move upwards. Perfect. Howard Aerospace. That was our trade of the week. Thanks to Niklas, who picked it for us. I was not available on Monday when we posted our newsletter. Our trade of the week. Nice zone break retrace setup. Off to the races. Nvidia is the only one which is kind of still stuck where it is. I still like Nvidia a lot. It came down a little bit below support. Still, well, right there. No harm, no falls to for Nvidia, right at the same level. Palantir, also one of our stocks that we picked last week. Beautiful bounce off this level here of support to the upside from our entry zone. We wicked into the entry zone. The Qs, and we could have the Qs as a potential long. Yeah, but we came down to the lows here. Off to the races. RBC Bearings Incorporated up. Schwab US large cap Same thing, beautiful move upwards from last week. And of course, the SPY as well, with a nice move upwards. What a bullish week we had of this support level. So that was probably our best week so far. Every single setup has worked out. I was very thrilled to it. Just a bit of a heads up. Because of how the markets moved and how bullish it has been in the last week, today's setup will be less. We're not going to find as many candidates for a long trade. Nonetheless, we're going to be finding some interesting ones. Of course, the market has moved so much. So many of the opportunities will be coming off support. They're not there this week. But, sometimes that's just the way it is. And the beauty is that every single day with new price data coming in, you can scan for new setups. You're not just limited to the weekend. You can do this every single day. All right. So let's start scanning, shall we? Let's roll up our sleeves. My sleeves are already rolled up thanks to the hot temperatures here in Punta Cana. But let's start scanning. Okay, so what will we be looking for? Well, we're going to, first of all, follow a systematic process where we're going to focus on one setup at a time based on what we see. We're going to creating a hot list, a watch list, which I will be sharing with you. And then at the end, I'm going to go through that hot list to perhaps detail or maybe pick the best candidate of those stocks in that watch list. Let's do it. So the first setup that we'll be looking for is a classic, the one that I trade all the time, which is called our bounce setup, one of my favorite setups to trade. Be it for day trading, be it for fully automated trading, or be it for swing trading, one of my favorite setups. And this setup is as follows. Let's say we want to go long. So the first thing, if we are interested in going long, what do we want to see? Well, we want to see that the macro trend, the overarching trend, is also bullish. Like in this example here. Now we can clearly see price has been going up for quite some time. We are long-term bullish. Now, that's criteria number one. Criteria number two is I don't like to enter, just like with silver right now, I don't like to enter when things are so extended. I want to patiently wait until we see a pullback. Okay, we call this oftentimes a healthy pullback, and Trend Radar, our indicator down here, can help us identify these situations. Call these the healthy pullbacks where we have a bit of a red spot within an overall greenish area. We can scan for this. And thirdly, ideally, we want this pullback to coincide with a key support level. So all three things should be coming together. Long-term bullish, we're seeing a pullback, and the pullback coincides with a key support level. And in a perfect world, we also do see liquidity capture at the last candle. It may not always happen, but that would be the perfect scenario. So how can we find these setups? Well, let's go to our scanner. There we go. And you can see here that our scanner currently scans through 5,835 stocks. So let's enter these scan criteria into the scanner. So how do we do this? First off, we want to find stocks which are bullish. And this is where our MA Rush indicator comes in. Let me just give you a taste of how this one works. I'm going to open up Agilent here. And let me just disable these ones here. Real quick, what do we see here? Well, we see this bullish label on this chart on a couple of bars back. This is printed onto the chart by our MA Rush indicator. It prints these bullish or bearish labels onto the chart. And depending on what the last label on your chart was, this will determine whether the stock is currently either in a bearish trend or in a bullish trend. And the beautiful thing is, in our scanner, we can scan exactly 4 stocks which had as its last label a bullish one. Simply by going to our MA Rush column here, we select this, the filter next to it and select bullish. And once I click it, look how fast this goes. Bang, it's already done. We can see that of our 5,835 stocks, currently 3,439 symbols are bullish. All right, right on. On all our bullish stocks. We can see here, if you look right next, or if you look into this column here, that every single stock has this green arrow pointing upwards. Every single one in that list. Okay, I can go through this list. You see every single one has this arrow pointing upwards. It's green and not red. And we also do have this number next to it. You see this number here, 16 or 586 or 457. Guess what this number does? This number tells you for how many trading days we've been bullish. So in this case, for ABUS, the Arbutus Biopharma Corporation, we have this number 67. And if we count back from the last candle on the chart to this bullish label, guess what number we get? 67. This is exactly what this number shows us. What I like to do, and that's different. That's a bit of a controversial opinion about this, but what I like to do is I like to focus on stocks which have been bullish for the longest time. So, because I view it as, the longer we've been in a bullish trend, the more established the trend is, and the bigger the odds are that this trend will continue. Now, some say, okay, oh, it's been going bullish for so long, it's time for a reversal. That's a different way of looking at it. It's a question of trading personality and taste. I believe the longer a trend, the bigger the chances that we will see a trend continuation rather than reversal. So what do we get when we sort by this number? Well, look at this one here. AZO, AutoZone Inc. Let me open it up. Let's check it out. Yeah, well, it doesn't look very bullish here, but if we zoom out a little bit, look what we see. Isn't that beautiful? Look at this stock. We were able to find the stock simply by scanning for bullish stocks and then sorting by trend duration. What a bullish stock that was. And if we re-enable our liquidity IQ indicator, what do we see here in the past? Look at this. So we made all-time highs on September 11, and then we corrected a little bit. We came down. And where did we come down to? This key support level. And what do you read here? Liquidity capture. Once again, the very same setup, coming down to support with a liquidity capture, but it has abnormally high volume and cannot penetrate this support level. Chances are that we're going to see a reversal resumption of the overarching trend. Exactly what happened here. Now prices were off to the races. All right, beautiful. Of course, this was in the past. Today we're trying to find new setups, but this explains you this process. And it's exactly the same setup, by the way, that I have my trading view alerts set on for futures trades. Yeah, prices approaching either support or resistance with a liquidity capture. That's what I'm looking for. And then I will analyze the chart manually a bit to see if I want to play the bounce trade or not. It works all the time. This is one of my favorite setups. Well, sorry. I will consider it all the time. It's one of my favorite setups. Of course, it will not work all the time, and there's no guarantee for this, but there's evidence that it happens a lot. Okay, there was AutoZone. What about Casey's General Stores, the second stock in the list here? Let's check it out. What do we see here? Well, also here you can see a long-term bullish stock. We came off the support level here, bounced to the upside. Prior to this, we came off this resistance level with a liquidity capture where we bounced to the low side. And now, once again, we're trading near resistance here. Would I buy this particular stock? Probably not right now. I like it for its long-term bullish trend, but I don't like the fact that we are right at this resistance level. We may see a bounce of this level. It may happen. I'm going to be either waiting for a correction, if it happens, or for a complete break of this level to see if I want to go along. But nonetheless, overall, it's a really nice stock. And then the third one is this one here, Costco Wholesale Corporation. I like Costco a lot. It's a fantastic stock. It came down a bit just with the entire, consumer discretionary sector came down. Also, Costco corrected that way. Of course, it's being in that sector. But as you can see here, it's coming off right a key support level. Here, actually, we had the situation where we had a support level at around 871, which eventually held, and now prices came above this intermediate support level at around 905. I see Costco as a very interesting long opportunity, especially at current price levels. Costco is a long-term bullish stock. You can see it here. It's been trending upwards. These corrections, you can see it was very similar here. These are completely normal. They've happened with Costco in the past before. I think we're at a similar point now. I believe in the fact that history oftentimes repeats itself. I see Costco as a very interesting long opportunity, and I'll be adding Costco as our first stock to our watch list right now to watch when the market opens on Monday. So for this, I'm going to create a new watch list. You can see all these different watch lists that we had created over the months and years. I'm going to create a new one weekly. Swing trades, Colin, 2025, 11. What day is today, Nicholas? Is it 29? I believe it is. Let me look at my phone.
Yep.
It is a 29. Okay, cool. Okay, perfect. Now, time flies when you have fun. I don't even count the dates anymore. So, uh, create and sorry, I will add this watch list. This stock to our watch list. There we go. And what I will also do is I will share this watch list with you guys. I'm gonna go down to my watch list here and I will share it. That's an option that I only have as the administrator. And I will unshare the oldest watch list, the one from October 18, because it's a bit old now. I'm sharing this one. Done. Perfect. So now should be able to see this watch list in your scanner. You may need to reload it or refresh your page. And you should also see Costco in that particular watch list. All right. So that was Costco. But let's move down uh, the line here. What else do we have? We have this Indian stock. I believe it's a nifty stock. What do we see here? Oh, is this the right? Sorry. No. What did I? Oh, sorry. I, I jumped a little bit ahead. So, of course, what I meant to say with Costco, my apologies, is that hey, Costco has a really nice technical setup. It's coming off a key support level. And we can see it here in our scanner because it says long bounds. You can see this one here. Now, I kind of stumble to over Costco by just going through the list, but there's a more efficient way of doing it by simply selecting long bounds in our Liquidity IQ setup column here. So if I go down to long bounds, I click on it. We can see, okay, now all of a sudden, every single stock or symbol in our list here has a long bound setup. That's a very efficient way of filtering out all these stock or filtering for all these stocks which are long-term trending up and at key support right now. Perfect. And the next one here, for example, is the Climb Global Solutions Inc. Let's check it out. Perfect. Look at this. Same thing. Yeah, we came down. We're long-term bullish. We're in a corrective phase, and we are currently at the lower end of this corrective phase. Actually, we drew this entry zone here a little while back. I'm going to move it over now because prices are right now in this. If I can move it, make this a little bit bigger if I can. Just cheat a little bit. It's going to move it like this. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So prices are right now on this entries, and I see also this as a very interesting long opportunity. Yeah. Same thing. Long-term bullish. We even had a liquidity capture on this on 3 bars ago, and see it here. And we are right at key support. Let's add the stock as well to our watch list for the next week. Done. Next one, StoneX. A stock that we discussed many times in the past. What did we see here? In fact, we called it out, I believe, 2 weeks ago when prices came down to this lower end of this trend channel. See this one here? What a nice bounce we had off this trend channel, off this lower support here, and now we're trading above this intermediate support level. Also an interesting one. The only thing I don't like too much about this is that this level down here and this intermediate level, they're quite far away, and prices broke this intermediate level in the past before. So I personally would like to wait potentially for prices coming down maybe towards this lower end of the trend channel and then re-enter. So here, perhaps be a bit careful with that one. But nonetheless, let me just add it to our list also. I'm just going to be aware that, hey, maybe I want to see a bit of a retracement before I get into this long trade. All right. And perhaps one more. Let's take this Australian stock here, the Tua.ax. All right, let's check it out. What's going on here? Tua.ax. Now, this one for some reason was not picked up correctly. You can see it's not near. Actually, Nicholas, can you take a note of this one here? I think there's a small glitch for this particular symbol here. Actually, it's not near a support level as per our chart. Let's go to SNL.ax instead. All right. So this one here, yeah, here we are near support, but similar to this one here, we're coming off a lower support level. Now we're just moving higher. I'm going to skip this one. But once again, we're in a consolidation phase, long-term bullish. We came off the support, but I think it might see another leg further down towards this level again. And perhaps one more, the Cintas Corporation. Let's check it out. Yeah, look at this. Same thing, big consolidation phase. Now we're very bullish, then down to this level, up to all-time highs, down again to this key level here. And I think even right now, we are at the lower end of this consolidation phase. And if that's the case, then we're going to see prices moving higher in the next couple of weeks. So I like this one because also here, as you can see, we do have quite a bit of room to our next resistance level. It's all the way up here. That's a lot of potential to the upside. So I'm going to add Cintas as well to our list. Perfect. All right. And you may ask now, and I need to speed up a little bit. What time is it? Yeah, perfect. You may ask now, hey Daniel, what about this other magical event, this liquidity capture event? Couldn't we scan for this as well to coincide with the last bar? And the answer is yes, of course we can. Let's check it out. So I'm going to enable this column here. It's called the liquidity capture column. So I had it disabled, so I'm going to enable it. And what you can do now here is you can use the filter to find stocks which currently had a liquidity capture at support. And in addition to this, where the liquidity capture happened at the last bar. Let's see if you have any hits. Let's see. Only a few of them. Wow. Crazy. Let's check them out. So the first one is coffee futures. I'm gonna skip the one. I'm not swing trading coffee futures. Yeah. We do have this event here at the very last bar, but that's not something I'm gonna be considering. Let's go to the New Multi-Market Income Fund. Let's check it out. Yeah. Here we do have this liquidity capture. Yes, we went above support, but what I don't like about this particular setup is that first of all, there's very little room to go to this resistance level here. So even if you were to trade this, look at this, how little room we have left. That's only 4%. This is not enough for me. It's very nearby. And we're coming from below this level. This level was breached in the past before. Not so favorite here. The Asia Pacific Wire and Cable Corporation. Let's check this one out. That looks more interesting. Look at this. Yeah, we came down, we're bullish for 319 days, came down to key support, and we had a liquidity capture. See it here on the very last bar, right off support. Let's check it out here. Yeah, I mean, it's the, it's a bit messy, this chart, so I'm not sure I would actually trade it, but nonetheless, if you want to take a shot down here, it's a very cheap stock too. Probably I would skip it. But this is something where I believe the chances are amplified of having a bounce of this level rather than a break of this level. And you can see this in the past before. Many times when we had these liquidity captures like here or here, we did see a nice bounce afterwards. So this is how you could further filter for those. I mentioned it in the beginning because of current market conditions, because we had quite a bit of a move last week. There are not as many opportunities this weekend, but nonetheless, quite a couple of them. And sometimes it's not quantity. Actually, most of the time, it's never quantity. It's the quality of the setups. And you don't have to force trades because every single day, some stocks will become interesting. Okay. So, Nicholas, any questions for this, or can I move on to yet another setup?
Move on.
Move on. Okay. So the next thing I want to discuss is the following. So, of course, the bounce setup is nice. We're trying to see if you're bouncing off support or off resistance. But of course, sometimes these levels are broken. They will not last forever. Nothing in trading lasts forever. Eventually, it will get broken. But if this happens, opportunities for us are opening up again, because then we can play the breakout trade. We can anticipate a price after a break. You can see support was broken here. After this break, price will continue in the breakout direction for quite some time afterwards. So either on the short side if support is broken, or to the long side when resistance is broken. So let's try to find some stocks where we're currently just breaking above resistance. And you'll see there's some very interesting ones right now. Okay, so I'm going to go back to our scanner, and I will clear out all our filters using this yellow button here. Clear it all out. And I will select now in our Liquidity IQ setup column here, the long break setup. Click on it. What do we see here? And we see all the stocks which are currently trading above their respective resistance level. For example, Sensora, COR. Let's open it up. What do we see here when it opens? Well, we can see price broke. We even have a label on the chart here. Price broke above resistance on October 10. And that's 35 bars ago. I didn't just count these up in my hat. I can see this right in my scanner here. Long break 35. 35 bars ago, we did break above resistance. Of course, now we're far away from our ideal entry point. So here we kind of missed the opportunity. But nonetheless, This was a great opportunity at the time. Or here McKesson, MCK. Same thing. We broke above resistance when? 37 bars ago. Down here on October 8th. Yeah, what a move afterwards. That's exactly the trade we're trying to find when we try to find the breakout. So, um, how can we find trades where the break just happened right now? Well, it's very easy. We simply sort by this number next to the setup from lowest to highest. So I click on this column here, which by default sorts from highest to lowest, but I want to sort from lowest to highest. And the first one that comes up, I'm gonna skip this London fund here. The first stock that comes up is the Steel Dynamics Inc. Very interesting. Let's click on it. Look what happened here. We broke on Friday above a key resistance level. Zone break on Friday. And, once again, this could be the starting point of another substantial leg further up. Now, mind you, this is very quite different from a bounce trade because here we're playing the momentum. We're playing that, hey, we're betting on the fact this move will continue in the next couple of weeks to the upside because we're having momentum to the upside. We push like a ball and we'll keep on rolling for a little bit longer. That's the idea here. This is not a trade where we get the best entry price. For the best entry price, we want to wait for a pullback, a correction of some sort. This is not the case. You can see trend radar is all green. We are already extended. We have momentum to the upside. Just be aware of this. But I like this one, so I'm going to add this setup to our list. All right. Next one, the Markle Group Inc. MKL. Let's check it out. Also, a zone break in the very last bar. You can see it here. We have the zone break label here, even though the bar was bearish in the end because we gapped up higher and then we closed the gap on the very same day. We can see it here. We broke above this level, and also here, right now, this could be an interesting opportunity to potentially play the momentum to the upside, even though I would wait here to see if this level actually gets reliably broken because we were above this level before. The liquidity capture here even came down, now up again. Maybe price will struggle with this level a bit longer. Let me just go back a little bit further. Oh, what a nice bear flag here. I mean, the beautiful drawings on this chart. Let me just take this out. Yeah, I can see this level around 2060 or 70. Yeah, this was established quite a while ago, back here in February this year. So it's quite contested. So here I would be a lot more careful. Actually, I'm going to skip this one because I kind of feel that maybe we're going to see a bit of a correction to the downside. But now, my favorite, Broadcom Inc., AVGO. Wow, what a move that stock had. It's been on our radar quite a few times. We can see it here. Break on Friday above resistance with a nice follow through. So I like this one. Resistance was broken. I believe this is a good candidate for a stock to buy high and sell even higher because momentum is on our side. We broke this long-term resistance level, and now the idea is that we're going to be off to the races and prices will continue to the upside. So I'm going to add this one to our list as well. Perfect. All right. So you can see how easy it can be to find these ideas. I can't go through all of these here, but just by looking at these numbers, you can see, okay, all these stocks subsequently, they do have these long break setups where you could play the momentum trade and anticipating, hey, price is going to continue in the breakout direction for quite some time. All right. So before we go to individual symbols, let me quickly review what we found today. So I'm going to go to our watch list. There we go. And you should see these symbols also on your watch list right now. And I will also enable trade notes real quick. I'm not sure why they're not showing, but I'm going to enable them right now. There we go. All right. Okie dokie. So these are our stocks here. And let's start with Steel Then. Actually, let's start with our bounce trades. Let's start with Costco. Okay. So Costco, our first bounce that we found. I like it. I think the entire sector, actually, in fact, if we are looking at, just real quick, I'm going to put the sector information, sectors column onto the scanner. 1 second. Where do we have it? There we go. Okay. So Costco is in the consumer defensive sector. Clear. We know, if you look at the sector ETF, the XLP, we know it's been struggling a little bit as of late. You can see it here. It came right off the support level. So this was one of the reasons why Costco and all these retailers, they corrected because the entire sector corrected, and the rising flood rises all boats kind of thing. Yeah? If it goes down, all the stocks in there are likely to also correct a little bit, try to be effective because there's some correlation there. So we came down to this key support level, liquidity capture, but now the sector seems to be picking up again. We're coming up a bit to this resistance level here, but I do think should we be able to go through it, the next step will only be all the way up here in this sector. And if this happens, I think Costco will benefit from that as well. So, yes, we do have a bit of resistance here, but it's intermediate resistance. So, I have a feeling it may be powered through. And if that does, Costco will benefit. So, I really do like Costco for a long trade for this reason. So, I'm going to add Costco to our trade notes here. Add a new trade note here and just put the screenshot of Costco right here. I like it for a bounce to the upside. It's a long-term bullish stock. Next, Climb Global Solutions. Let's review it. That's in the technology sector. A big move down. It kind of feels almost like catching a falling knife. Let me just see here. What? You know what? If you were to take this trade, just be aware that right below this level, so the support level here is at 97, fairly close by at 89.90, and we have another support level. And in our view, in our experience, if two levels are nearby, oftentimes it's the lower level, which is the most important one, or the more important one. Meaning that there's a chance, we saw it here a little bit in the past, you can see this bar wick down actually exactly towards this level, that the second level will be the one that's actually holding up. So if you were to take this trade, just be aware that, hey, put your stop below this level here, so give this trade a bit more room. Nonetheless, I think it's interesting, so I'm going to add this one as well too. Oh, watch this. Climb Global Solutions. Wonder what they do. By the way, guys, if you are wondering what a stock does, you can simply click on this little button here, and it gives you a little description. All right. And by the way, we're gonna look at a feature using AI to summarize this to you because it's a handful to read. Of course, if you're have a bit more time on your hands, but in the webinar at least, it's a little bit long to just get to in like one quick glance without reading the whole thing. Having a nice AI summary. I think this is a great use case of using AI to your advantage because if you already have a good knowledge base and just ask AI to work off it, like this description here, and give you like the key points, that I think AI is really good at in summarizing things if you give it correct facts. AI makes mistakes when it's just assuming things somehow. I can make a lot of mistakes, especially for programming. I think Niklas and we've experienced this quite a few times when it comes to developing indicators and coding stuff. I'm asking AI, hey, write me this code or do this and this. You really have to double check this very closely that it it didn't just make up things out of thin air. But if you give it a good knowledge base like this, it's quite spectacular how it can yeah help you get information what you need quicker. Anyways, so that's something we'll be looking at in the future. So moving on, StoneX. All right, I like it. StoneX was in this channel here. I think if you time your entry a bit lower here, I think that's what I would do. I would wait for prices perhaps to come down a little bit further and then look for a long trade, right at this lower end of this trend channel. So I'm going to add this one as well to our list. There we go. StoneX. Oh no, what did I do? Made a small mistake. And by the way, there are big changes coming to this trade notes too. We're going to have an edit feature so you don't overwrite something accidentally. There's going to be a feature to share trade notes and so forth. So lots of things are brewing in the background. So I'm going to add a new trade note and put StoneX here. There we go. All right. Moving on. What else do we have? Cintas Corporation. I kind of like it right at this key support level because it's been in a downtrend for quite some time, right at this lower end of this correction. So if you buy into the fact, hey, this is the lower end of this correction, then this would be the level now where you want to pull your trigger. Right at this lower end, lots of upside potential to the next resistance level. I like it. I'm going to add it to our notes as well. So trade notes, add a new trade note here with today's date and put the screenshot of the chart. And then two more. We have Broadcom. Yes, What a play here. Broadcom Inc. And well, we said well, we had also had Climb before. I mean, here we have Broadcom. Just one thing to point out. I like it. It's really coming up. But if you look at the sector, same holds true for Climb, where Broadcom is in. It's the technology sector, tracked by the SLK XLK ETF. And what do we see here right next to the ETF? Short bounce, meaning the sector XLK actually is approaching resistance. This is the sector here. We can see here. Well, we're still a bit further away. Wow, this was a premature call. There's still some room. But anyways, we are coming towards resistance. So just be aware of this, that if this sector finds resistance and may bounce off, maybe Broadcom will also see bit of a downwards move, but I think we're still, far enough away from this resistance level. So no, I'm not too concerned about this. But it's always always something good to double check what's the sector doing, the stock is in. So I like Broadcom for a continuation move. I be aware that at some point there will be a correction down to this level. So just make sure you book your profits early. But I like it. So I'm going to add Broadcom as well. Ideally, you get in a little bit lower when prices come down. Not sure this will happen, but definitely a nice bullish candidate. So Broadcom. And lastly, we have the Steel Dynamics Inc. in basic material, a stock which is bullish, or the sector which is bullish for 100 trading days in a magnet. So let me just quickly open this one up real quick to see what the sector is doing. Yeah, right in the magnet zone between support and resistance. Still some room to run. We are bullish. I think Steel Dynamics is going to continue with the breakout trade for the very same reason we just broke above support. That's added as well to our watch list. Perfect. Alrighty. Good. I think not as many picks this year, this week as last week, but nonetheless, a couple of interesting ones. And sometimes that's just what the market situation is. All right, guys. With this, are there any questions out there? Nicholas,
Yeah, sorry I was muted. Um, from Nico, what do you think the outlook is for the US dollar?
the US dollar. Okay. Let me see if we have the DXY here. No, what's the US dollar? Yeah, do we have it? Are we tricking it somewhere? Uh, that's actually, oh, here, this one. Yeah, US dollar currency. That's the one. DXY. Oh, I was right in the beginning. Okay. What's the outlook here? Well, let's look at the technicals. What do we see in the US dollar index? Well, first off, we're in a very narrow range of movement here. Look how close support and resistance are. So that is very narrow. So, you know, in the end, what's our trend indication? Let me just go back. Oh, because there's no volume here. It's a little trick, guys, by the way. If you don't see any rush printing any labels here, it means there's no volume associated with that particular symbol because it's an index. And you actually can see this just for the fun if you put the volume, the built-in volume indicator onto the chart. Price, our volume, I guess. Yeah, there we go. It's always zero. You can see it here. Always zero. So volume is not recorded for an index. Of course, it's because it's not traded itself. So in that case, in MA Rush, what you need to do is to change the calculation method for MA Rush. By default, it's using a volume weighted moving average. This works fantastic. We love it. But of course, a precondition for this is that the stock or the symbol needs to have volume. There's no volume, this average cannot be calculated. So what you would do then is you just change it simply to an exponential moving average to see the MA Rush information. We can see it's bearish. Well, putting this together, I mean, my outlook would be rather to the downside. Now we're in a bearish trend here. We just came off resistance. Now, this is our classic bounce trade, bearish trade up to resistance. We bounced up. Now we're at support down here. If you can hold support, maybe you're going to come up once again to this resistance level here. But if we lose it, we may see another lag further down. So it's rather bearish than bullish for the dollar. All right. Other questions, Nicholas?
We have one. What do you think is going to happen with seasonality type indications in the dashboard?
Yeah, something we're planning on doing. It's there's so many things we have in the pipeline. we can only tackle these one at a time. But yeah, that's it's in the planning. The thing of seasonality is we want to do it in a way that's a bit different. So this requires a bit of trial and error and thinking and coming up with a concept which finds actually meaningful seasonality statistics and better than just saying, hey, Apple in December tends to go up more than it goes down or something. So I don't know. That's we're trying to, it just takes a little while to get this right. But yeah, it's definitely something we're considering.
Thanks, Daniel. Could you look at Boeing, please?
Boeing. One of Boeing went up after the Airbus is being recalled. Why do we have it? Because I just spell it properly. Boeing. There we go. Okay. Yeah. It is. I wonder if that's somewhat correlated. I don't like correlating, looking at fundamentals, but of course, Airbus had this big software problem, which potentially will ground thousands of their airplanes temporarily because of solar winds and solar winds affecting the components on board and the software bit flips and so forth. So yeah, Boeing came up. I mean, it's kind of hard to read because we're nowhere near a technical level. And the only level I see here is this formal resistance level, which may, prevent price from moving much further up. We are bullish. We came up the support level here at 136. Now, kind of a no man's land. I mean, I would not trade it. It doesn't give me a clean technical picture. That's sometimes that's just the way it is. I would wait until we get a clear picture when we're closer to a technical level.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the next one is TLT.
TLT. All right. Okay, the 20 plus year Treasury bond ETF. Let's check it out. Oh boy. Okay. In the magnet zone between support and resistance and quite bearish. Let me just actually go back to the traditional MA rush calculation using the volume weighted moving average because the TLT is an ETF. It does have volume. Yeah, bearish here. Coming up to resistance here, and what you could do then is to fade it or playing the bounce trade off resistance to the downside. So I definitely have a more of a bearish feeling for the TLT because we are on a downtrend all the way from the highs here of 101. We came down to 83. Now the retracement back to this resistance cluster here at 92. So rather bearish than bullish from a technical point of view.
Thank you. And the next one is UAL, United Airlines. And
Yeah.
Dominic wants to know, he bought at $101 a share. Do you have a suggestion for a profit target?
All right. Let me see. Where is it? UAL, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So what do we see in a magnet zone? All right. Okay. And you bought it where, Dominic? Nicholas, what's the price he went in?
101.
101. Oh, you just bought it. Okay. You just went in here. I mean, my target, so let me just see. What do we see here? What? Oh, yeah. This is the tariff. We are definitely bullish. Well, since when? Let me just go back. There we go. Since April 2024, bullish. Came up at 114, retracement to this former resistance level. Up again, now down to support. Yeah, I mean, conservatively, I would get out probably here around 109, just below resistance. At least I book some profits there or protect my gains if it goes up. And then I would wait until we break the zone here. If we do, you can do something like we did at Broadcom or with better stock as the Steel Dynamics Corporation to play the breakout trade, but we're not there yet. We have two levels to come through, two resistance level above. So I would probably take profit at 109, or at least protect my gains at that point.
Thank you. And the next one is XPEV. You think it's going to bounce off support?
XPEV, this one? Xpeng?
XPEV.
Yeah. Okay. Xpeng Inc. Consumer cyclical. What do we see here? Yeah, it's interesting. I like it. I like it for a long trade. That's cool. Bullish since, actually coming down off much higher price levels. Wow, what's this stock? This came up from 53 all the way down to this key support. Look how beautiful this held at $6. Oh my goodness. And up to this point here down, bounced from resistance, now trading right at support. Okay. I mean, wow. It's yeah, it's interesting for potentially a bounce trade. The only thing is that was resistance level is right above price. There's not much room to go. I actually thought, hey, this would be the only level, but there's an intermediate resistance level right here. Yeah, I mean, if you want to trade this long, I would just look for getting profits probably very quickly at 23 or maybe 24, because we may bounce off this resistance level here again.
Thank you. And now we look at GLD already.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Gold we had in the
And
beginning.
the last one is going to be what's your outlook for Nvidia and Palantir for December?
Yeah, I mean, Nvidia, I like both stocks from a long-term trading point of view. Nvidia. So Nvidia posted earnings last not 2 weeks ago, 1.5 weeks ago, and you can see here the earnings came down here. We had this bar gapped up, then lost a lot of its steam, and then it retraced back to a key support level. I like it. Honestly, I still like Nvidia. We called it out last week as one of our trades to watch. It's right at support. We came a little bit below, but now we're right in the midst again. Uh, which is actually bounced right off the second Emmy rush line here. Um, I like it for a long trade. I think this is a nice opportunity since you can now get Nvidia at a discount, which is 16% of its all-time highs. So maybe that's as much as you will get from Nvidia. It's such a bullish stock. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Nvidia. As a at least as a also for a stock which should be in your portfolio, I think, not just for swing trading, but even for longer term investments. And Palantir, we also had last week. Just have a quick look. Yeah, came off nice. I like it too. Yeah, came out beautifully off support here. Now we're on. It looks like we're on the off to the races towards higher price levels. Yeah, similar to Nvidia, but here we had an even cleaner bounce of support. It's kind of beautiful. Yep,
Thanks,
good.
Daniel.
Great. All right, guys. Well, with this, I'm going to go back to my slides real quick before I all let you go. Quick reminder that we do have our big Black Friday sale going on. 40% off. Oh, where's it? There we go. Of our flagship indicators, including, by the way, our Liquidity View dashboard. And by the way, if you already have a subscription to the dashboard, you can use the Black Friday sale to do an early renewal of your dashboard subscription. Of course, the remaining days will be added to your renewed subscription. So that's something that's possible. The way to do it, you can always send me an email about this too, is to simply sign up for another subscription. Uh, I will see this in our system. I will then cancel your existing one and manually add the days to your new subscription. So that's possible. And of course, you will not lose access to the dashboard. You will keep all your drawings, all your watch lists if you do this. So don't worry about this. So that's possible. And check it all out at tradingindicators.com/Friday. And last but not least, one last thing. If there were any questions, if you don't know how to get in touch with us, where are we? Right here. Simply go to tradingindicators.com, which is our homepage. Click on support, then contact, and put your question into the contact form. If you want to ask that question in German, no problem. I will also answer in German. As you know, I'm from Germany. Yeah, write your questions there. I'll get back to all your questions. And then it takes a couple of days because we have sometimes, especially last, we get so many emails coming in. I only finished them all yesterday night. But yeah, hopefully this weekend I'll catch up on everything and then I'll get back to you as well. With this, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Niklas, thanks so much for being here on a weekend and see you guys soon at our Lunch and Learn session on Tuesday. Bye bye.